So what happens when my dad becomes too sick to tell us what he wants to do?
At what point do we need to take over Mom's finances? And how do we even do that?
Mom's health is getting worse. I really need to talk to her about her financial situation, but I don't know how to get started.
I don't ever want to be kept on life support. I hope my kids know that.
As loved ones become older, there are certain considerations and arrangements that need to be made. But it's often awkward to begin the discussion, and some family members aren't aware of all the factors that go into developing a plan for aging loved ones. Yet, it's important to begin planning before an older loved one is unable to make these decisions. The INconnect Alliance developed this video series to help you plan ahead to make sure aging individuals around you plan for the best care. From navigating caregiving transitions and anticipating medical needs to ensuring financial stability and great quality of life. The INconnect Alliance is here to guide you as you prepare for your aging loved one's future.
Senior care planning is a process that involves learning about the different types of decisions that aging individuals will need to make, thinking about those decisions in advance, and informing others about the aging individual's preferences. It not only involves the senior individual, but also people close to them, such as family, friends, medical professionals, and even senior law attorneys and financial planners.
When and how do we start planning? I don't want Mom to be offended.
For many families, having discussions like these can be a challenge. When a senior parent is healthy, you don't want to bring it up. And if they become ill, you don't want to talk about it. But it's important to know that it's never too early to start a discussion about a plan. The best time to start planning is now.
And I say that's what grandmothers are for.
I know you love your grandson, but I know you didn't call me over here to talk about Mike. So, Mom, what's on your mind?
Well, you may have noticed it's harder for me to get around, and we need to start thinking about what happens if my health starts to fade.
Oh, Mom, you are doing great.
Yes, I think I am, but many of my friends aren't, and I think we need to start preparing. It'll make it easier for you and your brother when the time comes.
If that's what you want, let's talk about it.
It doesn't matter who starts the conversation. What matters is that the plan reflects and respects the needs, values, and preferences of the aging individual. Although it may not be anyone's top priority right now, creating a caregiving plan with your aging loved ones and other family members helps everyone in the long run. It will alleviate last-minute planning, reduce possible family tensions, and minimize problems for you at home and work. Senior care planning also helps decrease the financial burden that often comes with the need for an increasing level of care for a once independent senior. The first step in senior care planning is to assemble your team. If you're a senior, ask yourself, whose knowledge would be most valuable to help you plan for your future care? Who knows you well, and who do you trust to prioritize your needs and wishes? If you're a caregiver or family member, who should be there with you as you help your aging loved one navigate this process? Keep in mind that a planning team doesn't have to be made up of only one family member. It's also great to involve neighbors or even friends from a senior's faith community so that family members don't get burned out. If you have a family doctor who specializes in senior care, lawyer, or financial planner, you should also keep them involved. Also, know that there are a number of free and low-cost resources available to help seniors depending on their situation, where they live, and the type of legal, medical, or financial help they need. Overall, it's important to assemble a team that can help in different ways, from the larger tasks like financial assistance to daily tasks like meal planning. The benefit of creating a team is having a community for you to fall back on when you and your aging loved one need it most. Once you've assembled your team, it's crucial to assess the needs of your aging loved one by having discussions with them and making observations of your own. There are 7 important parts of a needs assessment that should be discussed with your older loved one. Home maintenance and living situation, financial affairs, transportation need, personal care, health care, care transition tools, and funeral arrangement. Keep in mind that each of these is a part of a senior's independence and current lifestyle, so they may resist your help in discussions like this. When you talk about home maintenance and living situations, be sure to discuss payments on rent or mortgage, home repairs, ongoing maintenance to the house, safety concerns, grocery shopping and meal preparation, lawn care, pet care, and housekeeping. While some of these may seem like small details, they add up, and planning for these things can make a big difference in a senior's quality of life.
The next very important part of senior care planning is discussing financial affairs and the best steps seniors can take to protect their assets.
We can start with your assets. Here's a list of our farmland plus our farm equipment. I can estimate the value of the farmland fairly well, but the value of the farm equipment is harder to estimate.
And we also inherited Dad's farm and acreage.
Well, it's probably still worthwhile to get an appraisal. This is obviously going to be the major part of your estate, and we should be as accurate as possible.
First, consider the senior's income. Locate financial records and take inventory of how the senior's income is affected by public benefits programs. Second, list out the bills that need to be paid, from mortgage and car payments to credit card debt and utility bills. Third, ask the senior about any investments they may have, including pension funds, stocks, bonds, annuities on rental properties, and life insurance. If you're able to, look at your older loved one's spending habits and perform an annual review of their finances. Documenting these and other important pieces of information will be crucial to creating a strong financial plan. Talk to your loved ones about wills, trusts, and beneficiaries, and make sure to document their wishes in a will. Ask them about what they'd like to leave to their children and family once they've passed. Also, if there are any gifts they'd like to designate for community or faith-based organizations. A lawyer specializing in senior law is a great resource when it comes to planning or documenting a will.
Dad told me he got lost coming home from the grocery store today.
Really? And I've noticed some new dents and scrapes on the truck lately. I don't think it's safe for him to be driving anymore.
We should talk with him about it.
When do you think we should do that?
Another important topic to discuss with your aging loved one is transportation needs. When it comes to driving decisions, remember, safety comes first. The truth is, a senior's vision, spatial awareness, and reaction time often decline as they age. Although it's sometimes difficult to address with your loved one, these issues can potentially lead to challenges operating a vehicle and, most importantly, become dangerous for both the senior and other drivers. Everyone's situation is different, so pay close attention to detail and determine what's the best transportation option for your aging loved one, whether it's a car, a community bus, or simply coordinating rides with other family members. Although they may feel like their independence is being taken away, remind seniors that not driving is a wise move that helps keep them and others safe. If you're concerned about your older loved ones being a risk on the road, contact your local BMV for more information. Personal care is part of the planning process. The things your older loved one used to do with ease, like visiting the barbershop, going shopping, or bathing, may eventually require assistance from a caregiver. Talk to the senior about their activities of daily living and figure out how you can help. By enabling your older loved one to do these activities, you can play a significant part in maintaining their quality of life. Another very important topic to discuss is healthcare. In addition to understanding a senior's treatments and medications for any health issues, caregivers should gather documents and get a handle on the logistics of a senior's medical care. As you begin planning, ask about your aging loved one's medical conditions, previous injuries, mobility, chronic health issues, medications, and frequency of access to regular medical care. Then, gather important information such as medical insurance paperwork and bills. Help your aging loved one make a calendar of medical appointments and a schedule for taking their medications. Establish who will drive and/or accompany them to their appointments.
All right. Is there anything else that concerns you today, Mrs. Garcia? I've been feeling good today.
Okay.
Was there that pain in your hip you wanted to ask about?
But it doesn't hurt today.
Well, since you're here, why don't we go ahead and talk about it? Tell me a little bit more about that pain.
It's in my hip.
Accompany your loved ones to their medical appointments so they don't go it alone. By being there with the senior as they get medical information, you can serve as an advocate for their best care and help ensure their medical concerns get addressed. Your aging loved ones should not be afraid to ask questions and get necessary clarifications from health professionals. Help your aging family members navigate their health care by being a present and observant caregiver. The discussion of health care with your older loved one may naturally lead into another important topic, care transition planning, which includes the process of making sure a home is accessible and the use of mobility aids like walkers, wheelchairs, and scooters. To make a home safe for an older individual, educate yourself on changes you can make to accommodate seniors with medical conditions and mobility issues. Some changes you can make for a more aging-friendly home include installing safety grab bars in the bathroom, putting night lights in hallways and bedrooms, and widening doors to allow for wheelchair access, and many others.
There's no time like the present to discuss funeral arrangements with your aging loved one. Some seniors have an idea of their funeral preferences, whether it's burial, cremation, or donating their organs or body to scientific research. But some don't. Talk to them and find out what their preferences are, and make sure they get these preferences documented. When it comes to actual funeral logistics, some aging individuals have already arranged a prepaid funeral, while others have just begun financial preparations. Caregivers should educate themselves about life insurance plans, get a handle on which option is the most financially sensible for a senior, and most importantly, make sure that the senior's wishes are reflected in funeral arrangements. Depending on your senior's medical needs and independence level, the cost of housing and care varies. There are a number of local and national resources available to support seniors and their caregivers. Medicare can help offset many costs depending upon the type of Medicare coverage your senior has. There are also education programs like the State Health Insurance Assistance Program, or SHIP, which is a free and impartial counseling program for people with Medicare. If your senior loved one has private insurance, some services may be covered. Check with your insurance provider. If your aging loved one has a condition where they may require long-term care, you can look into the Indiana Long-Term Care Insurance Program, also known as the Partnership Program. This program is an innovative partnership between the state of Indiana and private long-term care insurance companies. Indiana has taken the lead in helping residents protect their hard-earned savings from the high cost of long-term care. If your aging loved one is a military veteran, they may be eligible for discounts on utility bills and health care and social service providers. AARP members may also be eligible for these and other discounts. The Aged and Disabled and Traumatic Brain Injury waivers provide an alternative to nursing facility admission for adults and persons of all ages with a disability. The waivers are designed to provide services to supplement informal supports for people who would require care in a nursing facility. Choice is a program that provides home and community-based services for older adults and persons of all ages with a disability. The Choice program is designed to provide services for people who are at risk of needing care in a nursing facility. Social Services Block Grant, SSBG, funds are used to support a compilation of home and community-based services targeted to lower-income older adults and persons of all ages with a disability. Title III of the Older Americans Act supports home and community-based services to help older adults maintain their health and independence. Title IIIe funds a variety of programs and services to support family and other informal caregivers. A great source to help you navigate this process is the INconnect Alliance. Reach out to your local INconnect Alliance member to get your questions answered and learn about the options available to you or your loved one. Once you have a firm understanding of both your older loved one's needs and the available resources to help you, create and document a care plan. Create a filing system for important records, both electronic and paper. Make sure you keep it in a safe place and let your team know where it is. As you organize your plan, keep a running list of payment, enrollment, and appointment deadlines, and automate as many recurring transactions as possible, from direct deposits to automatic payments for standard expenses. Ask your aging loved one to help you locate their personal information and important documents. This includes documents like birth certificates, social security cards, passports, existing wills or trusts, insurance policies and cards, house deeds, mortgage notes, auto titles, and health insurance benefit statements. Make a list of the locations, descriptions, and information about these important documents. This can help you in case of an emergency. Throughout the entire process of senior care planning, keep other family members and your team informed of important decisions so they can support you wherever they can.
How do we take over paying Mom's bills?
I think we'll have to do Mom's taxes this year. She's just not up to it.
What happens if she's hospitalized and can't make any decisions?
I want everything to be taken care of ahead of time. I don't want my kids to stress out about what I do or don't want if my health fails.
Financial preparation is a big part of senior care planning. Although it might seem intimidating at first, understanding some basic legal terms and concepts will help you as you face the challenge of financial planning. We'll make it easier for you by explaining some of these important topics. But remember to contact a financial professional and senior law attorney for more information and guidance. The Advance Directive is also called a healthcare declaration, medical directive, directive to physician, or living will. As we mentioned earlier, senior care planning involves learning about the types of decisions that might need to be made, thinking about those decisions ahead of time, and then letting others, such as family and healthcare providers, know about these preferences. Often these wishes are put into a written statement and legal document called an advance directive. In most cases, an advance directive describes the type of medical treatment a person would want to receive if they become unable to communicate with a doctor themselves. Someone who cannot understand or evaluate information effectively or communicate a decision for themselves as a result of disease or severe injury, regardless of age, is considered incapacitated. This differs from a last will and testament, which only goes into effect after an individual's death. The need to know your older loved one's preferences becomes more apparent as their health declines. An advance directive is important because it allows a senior to express their values and preferences related to medical care. Think of it as a living document. It can be adjusted as your aging loved one's situation changes because of new information or a change in their health. So how can you help your aging loved one create an advance directive? The first thing to know is that an advance directive can only be created before your older loved one becomes incapacitated. If you want to become your loved one's medical decision maker after they become incapacitated, the options are fewer and sometimes limited to pursuing guardianship, which we will talk about later. An advance directive lets you outline your preferred treatments, but also gives the option to designate a person as your healthcare proxy, which means they can speak and make medical decisions on your behalf if you become incapacitated. Another term for this is healthcare power of attorney. Even if your aging loved one chooses not to name a proxy, it's very important that they have a detailed advance directive so their wishes may be carried out as closely as possible.
So in the event that you're unable to make decisions for yourself, this directive will spell out how you would like those decisions made and who should make them.
That's good, because if it comes to that, I really don't want to be kept going if I can't think for myself.
It's all up to you, Mom. That's why we're here.
Thank you.
Make sure the advance directive is a valid document by signing it and keeping it in a secure place that your team knows about. Each state has different requirements, so check with a lawyer to make sure your advance directive stays secure and valid. Power of Attorney, or POA, is an important planning tool. It's a document that allows you to appoint a person, multiple people, or an organization to manage your affairs should you become unable to do so. There are different types of POA, and each type gives a different level of control to your proxy or agent, that is, the person who will be making decisions on your behalf. The designated POA can make decisions for a senior, but must not make decisions with their own interest in mind, or separate the senior from other family members. Because of the potential for abuse, it's important for seniors to know that they can put limitations on a POA at any time. As mentioned earlier, without an advance directive, the law can determine who will make your healthcare decisions. In some cases, guardianship, sometimes called conservatorship, must be enacted. So what does that mean? Basically, a guardian is a person appointed by a court to be responsible for the care and supervision of an incapacitated individual. Most commonly, an incapacitated individual, also called a ward or protected person, is someone who is unable to provide self-care or manage their property due to disability or illness. It's important to know that the guardianship court petition process can drain a family's time and financial resources and can also lead to potential disagreements. Because of this, guardianship is a final resort for families assisting their older relatives with decision-making. One alternative to guardianship, called a supported decision-making agreement, is a way for a senior to formalize accommodations in the decision-making process. In this alternative to guardianship, the senior appoints supporters to assist them with different types of decision-making. The senior retains ultimate decision-making authority, but they now have a team of supporters to help care for and oversee decision-making with the senior's best interest in mind. The agreement can then be used to show other people, like doctors or service providers, who can be involved in the decision-making process. It also helps to make sure that the person's supporters are all on the same page about how to best support them. If you need more information on any of these legal concepts, visit the Indiana Disability Rights website. Finally, let's discuss the last will and testament. We've all heard the term, of course, but what exactly is a will? Simply stated, it's a binding legal document that controls the distribution of one's property, also referred to as one's estate, upon the individual's death. At that time, their property is divided according to their wishes. Who should create a will? The short answer is everyone. Anyone who has any assets at all, no matter how small, should create a will. This includes seniors on Medicaid, even though they may have limited assets and income. Seniors should think closely about where they store their wills. The important thing is that your team knows where it has been stored and that it is easily accessible. Wills can be written without assistance and without a fee. However, you should seek help from a senior law attorney. You can see that there are many legal options for seniors and their families. As you plan, remind your aging loved one that their preferences and designations are not permanent. Seniors have the right to reverse or reallocate their decision-making powers, and their original plan can always be changed. The essential thing is to create a plan. It can always be updated, and keep the process person-centered by including your loved one in their planning and making sure their needs and wishes are the top priority. And remember, the INconnect Alliance is here to guide you toward the right care for your senior loved ones. Thanks for watching.